while the Phillies continue to keep just winning games, the Eagles had a little practice yesterday, a mandatory practice. So I want to overreact to it, and that's what we're going to do. Overreact to the first day of mandatory Eagles minicamp. We're going to talk Phillies. We're going to talk football movies and football TV shows. We're going to talk it all trending in the AM live with your thoughts and opinions in 60 seconds. Very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We are live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You know the drill. Wherever you are watching, hit those like, subscribe, share, follow buttons, whatever platform you're on. Share it out to as many people as possible as we continue to grow this great morning show and this fantastic channel, Edge of Philly Sports. It is free to do it. It does not cost you a thing to hit that share button. It does not cost you a thing to hit subscribe. It does not cost you a thing to hit that thumbs up button. So I greatly appreciate it. If you guys could do that, it would mean the world to me. Helps to grow this show, helps to bring more people into the conversation. And there's lots that I want to converse about today. There's lots I want to talk about today. Not just the simple fact that the Phillies just continue to win, because that's what they do. They just continue to win there. I'm done sharing everything out. I can focus on the computer screen now. We are going to talk about that as throughout the day. And it's something I just thought of before the show went live. Tweeted it out. I'll wait to get to the Phillies till later in the show because I want to get some Twitter comments going as well on my page on this. How far can Christopher Sanchez go? 12 starts into this season, a 2.71 ERA. The guy's lights out. What's his ceiling? So that's a Phillies question we're going to get to in a little bit, and we'll predict the wrap-up of that series that's later this afternoon. Eagles, mandatory minicamp started yesterday. There's a lot to digest from what we've read from the reporters. All the reporters, all 3 days, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, open to the media. Lots of videos. It's always great to see the videos from the reporters in camp. It's great to read all their tweets and stuff. I don't know what Eagles fans did in the 80s. We had to read the newspaper the next day. We didn't get this instant reaction like we get now. And I'm all for it. So there's lots to dive into on that topic, and we're going to get into that. Also, last night I was on Birds of a Round Table's podcast, and we drafted our all-time football team using TV and movie characters and that were football players in the show or the movie. And I want to bring up my team, compare it to the rest of the other teams, plus talk football movies in general, because I dropped a dime last night. And it's ruffling some feathers about football movies. So that'll be also something later in the show that we get to. Guys, I'm Phil Stiefel, your host here. Make sure you find me on any social media platform that I'm on. You can find me at Beard and Knowledge. Beard is slowly growing back in since I cut it off. I would greatly appreciate a follow anywhere you guys can find me. What is up, Jordan? How you doing this morning? Eagles minicamp and Phillies. Those are the main topics today. That's right, Eric. Smash that like button. It's free. It don't cost you a penny. Was Little Giants. There were one or two think at least one. At least one. I don't want to put it up on the screen just yet, but I do remember Little Giants being mentioned a few times on the show. Not by me. My team is stacked with elite talent, world and galaxy-saving talent. And there's going to be a vote on Twitter about whose team is the best. And I think mine should clearly hands down win. We'll get to that. Happy Hump Day to you, Al. Do we still call it Hump? Like, I know it's still Hump Day. But it was called – Hump Day was like a trend with that one commercial. I think it was Geico. Do we still call it Hump Day? Today's a short day for me. Today's a short day, but a long day because I'm babysitting my nephew today. Last day of school, need someone to pick him up. I got to go pick him up at 12:30. So that little 8-year-old monster is going to run me ragged, playing basketball, playing 2K, playing tackle football, playing everything in his basement today because it's going to be raining and I can't take him out. So my short day is actually going to be an exhausting but fun day. I got my good eye. You got to say it like that. I got my good eye on you. Or my only eye. Guys, so James Bradberry is now a safety, and that ended 30 seconds after it started. So the first big piece of breaking news or conversation coming out of yesterday's mandatory Eagles minicamp was first during the coaches, all of them pretty much spoke. I haven't gotten to go through all the coaches' pressers, just some recaps of them. But the first thing that came out was Nick Sirianni said before practice that James Bradberry is going to be tested at safety. And I was like, what? Really? Like, I was ready to prepare today to center the conversation around, did James Bradberry even show up? I mean, the writing's been on the wall that James Bradberry is probably not going to be on this team. So the question instantly became, was he going to show up? Not only did he show up, but he was put in the safety position. Now, he got hurt pretty quickly into playing safety, unfortunately. But I think there's a lot of very telling things in this James Bradberry situation. One, the Eagles are not ready to give up on him. Two, James Bradberry is not ready to give up on the Eagles. Three, the cornerback position is super deep on this team. Four, the safety position is not very deep. There's a lot that goes into it. Yesterday, you had Keely Ringo working with Darius Slay with the ones. And by all reports, are you saying you can't hear me? You having problems with the sound? Because it sounds okay here. It's interesting. Hold on. Phil, fix for Mike for Pete's sake. What? Because somebody else said this last night, but I can't hear the mistakes. Not one thing has changed on my thing. You can hear me? So, sorry, I'm just seeing these comments. Sometimes I go off on these rants. What is the problem with the mic? Maybe I'll pull it away a little bit. I don't know. Nothing has changed. You can hear me? I sound flat. All right, well, I'm going to have to, I don't think I can really adjust things mid-show. Let's see here. Echo cancellation's good. Reduced background noise is good. I don't know what the heck happened here. I haven't touched a single setting. I don't know if that does anything. I don't know if that button even changed anything. I got a text message from Big Al. Let's see. Coming from my webcam, not my mic. Okay, well, let's see this. Camera is on that. Audio says default microphone, which it should be. I don't know how to turn the webcam mic off. I've never even turned it on. Speakers. I don't even know about that. It says I'm using my default microphone, which is V10, which is this. It is not clicked on the web. Interesting. I'll have to work on this. Can you guys get through? Yeah, if it's I see this, it sounds like you're coming from far. It means that's mic's on, but I've never turned it on. And Big Al, send me a text message if there's a way to turn that off through the StreamYard, because I don't see it. And I don't have it on like that. So sorry. I don't know. I'll work on this as we're rolling through. I guess that's what Deeves was telling me last night, and I don't know why I can't hear it. I hear myself perfectly fine in my earpiece. Is there a good GM more detached and delusional about their team than Morey? Jerry Jones is. I know he's an owner, but he is the GM. Absolutely. I think the mic setting's not going through the right speakers or channel. Yeah, it's obviously what it is. I don't know how to fix it. Did he get hurt, or is he convinced to be hurt? Yeah, I don't know about that with James Bradberry. You can hear me? Okay. It's just weird hearing it not through the properly. We hear you clearly. Okay. I will get this fixed, whether it's throughout this show or before tomorrow morning. I'm just not sure how. Eric, it sounds flat. Yeah, okay. All right. So a little muffled. All right. Let me get caught back up. See, now you guys tell me something like that mid-show, and now I feel like, now I feel like, everything's thrown up. Now I'm not in my groove. I was in a groove, and it threw me all off. If your cornerback is old and stinks, switch him to safety. A lot less athleticism needed. Absolutely. All right. Well, yeah. Let's all take a quick moment to laugh at the terrible team that Ryan Reese drafted last night. We are going to get into that, Mr. Crackpot, a.k.a. Deeves. We are. I understand you clearly. We can get through this, Big Philly. All right, we're going to get through it. I'll talk louder if I have to. I'll talk louder. It's all good. That's what I'll just have to do. Big Al, I'll put my phone back here. Let me know if you text me. I'm just not sure how to turn the mic cam audio off right now. Might cost you some likes. Yeah, of course. I've had some great likes this week. Ryan, not the best at drafting. No, not at all. Nia Smith going to make some noise this season. Swiss Army knife and with quickness. He was returning punts. He was working out of the slot yesterday. A lot of positivity coming from the wide receivers yesterday for sure. Maybe you need to pivot to a David Archer. Yeah, no, not yet. Not yet. We will get to the draft later in the show. James Bradberry at safety. Again, bringing back to this now that I know that there's nothing I could do to fix this audio live right now. He doesn't want to leave this team. Part one, in my opinion. Two, he might have, how do I say this? He might have realized there isn't a market for him. Yeah. Thanks, Jer. Thanks. Mr. Sarcasm right there. Captain Obvious. Maybe James Bradberry was given permission to search around. He realized there isn't a market for him. So what's the best thing for him to do? Stay on a winning team, try to make an impact, maybe show the league that he still cares, maybe just show the league he still has something left in the tank. Now, it's unfortunate that he got hurt pretty quickly into practice yesterday, but the James Bradberry situation, I think, is interesting. And also, I think it plays into the fact there is a path. There is a path to him making this team at safety if he performs in camp, in training camp, and these mini camps. Well, I hope that whatever banged him up yesterday that made him sit out a majority of the practice, if we see him back on the field today, that's interesting. I think it's something to keep note of because you've got right now Reed Blankenship. You've got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And that's it. Sidney Brown's not going to be back for a while. Avonte Maddox's been tried in the slot at safety a little bit. Putting James Bradberry there, seeing if he's got it, seeing if he can learn a new position. We've seen cornerbacks transition to safety before. I think it's a smart move for all around. And I told y'all that James Bradberry was going to be on this team potentially at least through training camp. Well, this new development yesterday kind of seems like a good thing for this team going forward. I pity the fool that has to go up against Phil in round 1. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Who drafted Flash Gordon at quarterback? Well, I did. He's my starting quarterback because not only can he save the universe, he also is quarterback of the New York Jets, just so you know. It was because Shane Falco was off the board. I waited till the end. It was between Flash Gordon and AC Slater as my starting quarterback. There were some other options on the table at the time, but I was choosing between Flash Gordon, AC Slater, maybe TJ Bryant, but no one knows who TJ Bryant is. Even when I described who TJ Bryant is, people still didn't know who TJ Bryant was. Reed's going to be real rough today. Yeah, you know, I don't know how to turn the mic off on there. I don't know how the mic got turned on there, let alone turning it off. So I don't know what to tell you. No clue what to tell you. You got to suck it up today. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Yeah, no. Eagles fans need to lay off of Bradberry. I mean, I don't know if you got to lay off of him. I mean, he did perform pretty awful last year. But he wasn't all-pro the year before that. So there is a scenario where James Bradberry is still a viable option on this team. There is. Now, you guys still got me so thrown off. I'm still checking chords, trying to figure out what I can do here. How's CJ Uzomah looking? I have not heard CJ Uzomah's name mentioned once. Not once. Barely heard Dallas Goedert's name. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm not sure. Always Slater, Preppy. Yeah, that's right. Who drafted Dan Marino? Yeah, so Marshawn, he was on my list. But at the very beginning of the show, we were told certain types of players weren't allowed to be drafted, and I was going to draft Dan Marino. Now, like Vince Papale was okay. He was on my team because the whole movie was centered around him. But Dan Marino being just a kind of a sort of a cameo, I was told like I couldn't take Clay Matthews from Pitch Perfect 2, or what was the other one I wanted to do? Brett Favre was in Something About Mary. Like I was told those were no-goes. So I passed over on Dan Marino, okay? Which I still think I should have been allowed. But no, I wanted Shane Falco. Thought about going. I missed out on Johnny Utah at the last second. Thought about Jake Weiler, if you know, you know. Clark Kent, you know, from Smallville. But I was down to Flash Gordon and AC Slater. We're going to get into that in a second, though. Bradberry lit off on a lot of receivers last year. Yeah, Bradberry was not good last year. I don't think we can really debate how bad he was. Not just bad, but lazy and uninterested with the tackling and everything else, and just effort. And the one thing we did hear of yesterday, and a lot of the reports we're reading about, you know, Nick Sirianni said he wanted to set the stage by making the first mandatory camp in the Eagles for a couple years now. Set the stage to work on mastering the details. Well, the details weren't there with James Bradberry last year. But James Bradberry wants to be here. That's what, look, there are big names across the board not showing up to camps. You know, Hassan Reddick still hasn't shown up for the Jets. CeeDee Lamb ain't showing up for the Cowboys. James Bradberry could have held out to get traded or to get cut. The writing's on the wall. The odds are stacked against him to make the team. But he wants to be here, and he wants to work on those details. He also would get fined if he didn't show up, but, I mean, he's making $38. He's still in the middle of his $38 million contract. What up, Judd? What up? Brazil really will sound like it's coming from Brazil. Oh, my God, guys. Bradberry stinks. He lost 3 steps last season, and the Eagles were forced to take him off the field. Yeah. Well, when cornerbacks fall off, easiest thing to do is move them to safety. Now, I got to think, here was James Bradberry's 2022 performance. Here was his 2023 performance. There's got to be somewhere in the middle. You don't fall off that far that fast. There's got to be something left in the tank. And again, I'm not saying he's making the roster. What I am saying is maybe he's here through King. Maybe we find value in having him around. Maybe a team sees the effort he puts in and makes a trade from him. Arizona's been rumored. Hey, we've got a joint practice with the Patriots. They're a rebuilding team. Maybe they need a veteran like James Bradberry to help their young guys. I'm just throwing random things out here. There is more positive by having James Bradberry stick around, learn a new position, a position where we lack depth massively at in safety, than just straight up cutting him. What would you rather do? Have a random guy that has no experience as your 90th player on the roster through training camp, or James Bradberry and see what he's got? Maybe you trade him. I don't know. We are not a ticket resale site there, Rich, so we are just going to delete that comment. Am I misremembering, or didn't CJ leave us on a bad note? We went into this when we brought him. Judd, he did leave on a bad note. He did trash talk excessively on his way out the door. And I was seriously concerned about this when we signed him, Judd. But everybody else told me to relax. It's okay. It's okay. And we are better with him than without him. 198 extension. What? Is this breaking news, Marshawn? Did Joel Embiid get his extension? Oh, geez. Hold on. Let me see. Did he get an extension? I'm trying to find some stuff here. Did it happen? Why can't, if it did happen, that's a rumor. That wasn't even about Joel Embiid. I just saw Sixers and rumor. I don't see anything about this. I have not seen Joel at all on Twitter. Any news? Let me see. Joel. I'm going to type this in. Joel. Joel Embiid. Legion Hoops. It's saying could sign. All right, so the report I'm seeing is could happen. Yeah. So I'm just seeing as it could happen. I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, Marshawn. He's going to get an extension this offseason, which will make him even harder to trade if you want to move on from him after this year, just so you know. If folks want to put the blame on Bradberry, then the position coach needs to take the blame also. 50-50. Jose, yeah. Look, was James Bradberry bad last year? Absolutely. But so was the entire defense of the Eagles. The coordinators were horrible. The position coaches. Hey, we lost our elite defensive backs coach in Denard. What was his name? I forget his first name, but his last name was Denard Jose. We lost him before last season, and we saw a severe drop-off in our defensive back play. So there's a lot that goes into it. Just going to throw all that out there. Howie heard the chat, and he loaded up on the secondary. Absolutely agree. He can't stink anymore. It can only get better with Bradberry. There's got to be. Everybody hates when I use this word. I use the word positive regression. People tell me that's a made-up word. Well, maybe it is a made-up word, but you can regress positively. I know it sounds funny, but think about it. He can't be as bad as last year. And if he is, he'll be cut. But right now, you don't cut him. You wait to cut him at this point. I think it's worth a tryout, Bradberry at safety. Let's see what he's got, because we all know he's the Tobias Harris for the Eagles. That contract is brutal. Yeah. So we now can cut him. It's only a $4 million dead cap hit. It's a $10-ish million cap hit next year instead of it all being this year. Okay? But if you could trade him, you still have the $4 million in dead cap this year, but you get off next year's dead cap if you trade him. So you try him out at safety. You hope he's in shape in camp. You hope someone takes notice, and you get a trade. Or, on the flip side of it, if you don't trade him, maybe he could be some depth at safety. All you got is Reed Blankenship and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. That is it. Reed Blankenship hurt a lot, gets banged up a lot. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson has missed a massive amount of games over the last couple seasons. One of those goes down. You got nobody. You got James Bradberry and you got Avonte Maddox now. So I think it's win-win. Unless you're going to go out and get Justin Simmons, Bradberry is a necessary evil at safety. Oh, my God, K1, stop. This is the first time. I haven't touched a thing. I don't know how this even happens. What kind? Somebody was trying to sell tickets to Eagles games on the Facebook comment side of things. You only see the Facebook comments when I put them up on the screen, Marshawn. Someone was trying to sell tickets. He is eligible for it. Yeah, I get the Joel B. He's eligible for the extension. He is going to get the extension. Not now, after the rest of free agency is done, after we see what the rest of the team looks like. But he and Tyrese Maxey will get his max extension. Joel Embiid is eligible for his. It's going to happen, Marshawn. It's going to happen. The Sixers aren't going to start playing games with him, every other year or anything like that. He's going to get the 3. He's got 2 years left on his current deal. So this year, upcoming year, so he's got the next 2. They're going to add the 3 on. It's happening. Whether we like it or not, it's happening. Yeah, it's a rumor. Yeah, it took me a second. The way he first put it up, I thought he meant it was already signed. Because I said it yesterday, and I've said it before. It's coming, whether people like it or not. It's happening, guys. It's going to happen. Not yet, but it's going to happen. 'Tis the season to convince myself that Jimmy Butler and Brandon Ingram are good fits for the Sixers. FML, yeah. Again, I can't get behind this Jimmy Buckets thing, man. I can't. Yesterday, people after the show, I was seeing on Twitter, people were posting 3 first-round draft picks for Jimmy Butler. It makes me want to throw up in my mouth. It makes me want to throw up in my mouth. I don't see how he goes from being in our weak secondary to improving our weak secondary. It's not that he's going to, it's the narrative that he wasn't as bad as it looked. Like, he was bad last year, but that's not who he is. He's a better player than what he showed last year. Some of it was disconnect with the coordinator. Some of it was lazy play. Who knows? There were lots of things that played into it last year, potentially. Or maybe he just sucks. Maybe he went out there, had one play at safety, said, I don't know, coach. And coach says, we're going to cut you anyway, so just go sit in the medical tent for the rest of the day. He might be cut by the end of this week. But it's worth a shot. Bearded knowledge is greater than Joe Rogan. Well, damn straight I am. I just don't have his bank account. Phil's a buzz cut and polar plunge away from being no. I don't have the hot takes like him. I do have a hot take on sports movies coming up shortly here. Whoever said Philly Sports Alliance guy he had one hell of a team he had a terrible team. Terrible team. Take Phil's audio, for example. Positive regression. No, it's net. My audio is negative regression for sure. Phil, just a K-hole and a studio upgrade away from something like that. Something like that. Ruthless regression. Yeah. Bradberry sucks, but he might be. Quarterbacks have done it before. 34 counts. What's 34 counts? 34 likes on the video? Only way I get tickets. Yeah, it's cherry tickets. Yeah, I'm not putting other people's ticket sales spam in the comments. Just deleting it. In the words of Matt Hardy, delete. That's it. Looking for a great outing from Nola this afternoon, Jose. Yeah. I mean, where are Major League Baseball reporters and commentators now? The Phillies don't beat any good teams. Well, they just took the first 2 games against the first-place Milwaukee Brewers, just so you know. So, I don't get it. And they're going up against this guy with a 9+ ERA, and I had to look this up. His name's Aaron Ashby. First thing I thought of was Aaron Ashby. Is it like Andy Ashby's kid? And it's not. It's his actual nephew. So Uncle Andy will be watching nephew Aaron pitch against his former Philadelphia Phillies today. And they should be Aaron Nola on the mound, continuing his dominance. And I posed this question to Jose on Twitter before the show. What is the ceiling for Christopher Sanchez? Another dominant performance last night. ERA down to 2.71. He started 12 games so far. I don't know if he can keep up a sub-3 ERA all year long. He's 13th in Major League in ERA. I don't know if he can keep that up. But I think he can keep pitching pretty close to this. I think it's pretty crazy. Guys, real quick, we're talking about all these ticket sales and stuff. Make sure you go check out our friends at SherryTickets.com. Great moments don't just happen. They happen with you in the crowd. SherryTickets.com is easy to use. It has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less, play more, SherryTickets.com. Use promo code EOP10. That's EOP and the numbers 10 and share an experience that will live on forever. 10% off and no hidden fees. Why would you use any other reseller? If you need a more personal touch, you can call them 610-494-5050. Again, SherryTickets.com, promo code EOP10. Guys, don't miss out. Save with the rest. Don't use the rest. Save with the best. SherryTickets.com. Promo code Jose Serrano. Yeah. We go into MF. Just like we have to put the work into here, Phil. Bradberry needs to put the work in to make the team. He does have to put the work in to make the team. He does. Cherry does not sell tickets. Cherry gets you out of, it helps you sue the person that sold you scam tickets. All right? If you would have bought tickets from the guy that was trying to comment about them in the comments, that's where Cherry comes in. He helps you get your money back. No. You can't queue yourself up for ad reads. You got to let me, or you got to do it more subtly when you're trying to queue up an ad read. All right? Got to queue it up just right. That's all I can say. You still guys got me thinking about this. Test 1, 2. It still picks it up. This, according to StreamYard, is picking up my audio. Maybe not. Default B10. You guys got me so messed up. I'm to mess up this stuff here. I don't want to mess anything up. You guys just got to suck it up. Turn your volume up to hear me. When you have these pitchers who can keep the ball in the infield, they are definitely keepers. Sanchez has it like that. Absolutely agree with you. First 5, I think he had 12 or 13 ground ball outs. You got to have faith that Album can continue to field it at an average level. But, yeah, keep the ball out of the bleachers in the outfield. No, we're not doing the Brazil. I did the Sherry tickets, This show is not in shambles. The audio might be a little slightly screwy or wonky, but I don't know how because I haven't hit a goddamn thing anywhere. I haven't changed a single thing. Everything is exactly how it always has been. This is plugged in there. That's plugged in there. That's plugged in there. That's plugged in there. No settings have been changed. Nothing. I don't know. But we're not in shambles because we're rolling on here. Talking about James Bradberry. Talking about the Phillies. We're going to be talking movies in a second. What's up, Joe? Good morning. A little tardy today. Yeah, well, you're tardy. My audio's screwy. Who the hell knows? But did you see that Phillies win last night? Of course I did. Casty walking off. Gotta love it. It's slightly turning a positive corner right now. For sure. Wires everywhere. You gotta have a mic, you gotta have the headset, you gotta have the power cords. There is. There's a lot going on. What's up, Barbara? This going to London to play 2 games against an awful team doesn't accomplish anything for Major League Baseball fans. Absolutely, considering when Taiwan Walker's going to be throwing in one of the games as well. He ain't going to be making any fans. The London thing, I get it. And I get the international football games. But really, in baseball, is London really begging for baseball? I know they're begging for football. But is London really begging for baseball? Do they think they're really going to gain much from this? And if you're going to do it, you have the Phillies play the Yankees or the Phillies play the Red Sox over there. You have whether the teams, maybe that's the way to go about it. I don't know. I'm not sure it's necessary. And they're going to have Thursday and Friday off. They're going to have Monday off after the series. But there's going to be a lot of media that's involved with this, a lot of appearances, travel. Not sure I could say that I absolutely love this. Not sure about it. But it is what it is. We got to deal with it. Hopefully this is the only time. called the Geek Squad. Yeah, I haven't worked. I don't do work on stuff like this mid-show. That's the problem. What you guys are hearing is not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing myself talk right through this. I hear it right through my ears. So something's not translating right, but it is okay. And empty bottles of grappa on the floor. I don't even know what that means. Nobody begging for baseball. I am. I love baseball. London wants fish and chips. Well, beer and baseball go hand in hand, but not fish and chips and baseball. So they got the beer part down out there in London. They do. That's a positive, I guess. I'm trying to grasp for straws on why the London series is a good or bad thing. I really am. Because I really don't know if it is. Time of the games and stuff like that, I just don't do it. Saturday starts at 10 a.m. our time, and Sunday's 10 p.m. Saturday is 1 p.m. I think it is. They can't both start at Saturday. Just so you know. But I get what you're saying. I just don't know. I have a feeling, and as I'm about to say the words "elephant in the room," basically answers or says exactly what I was just about to formulate into a sentence. I hope this London trip doesn't mess them up. They are in a groove of all grooves right now. You're going to have 3 days off over a 5-day span. You're going to travel overseas. There's going to be jet lag involved, major media appearances, lots of spotlight, lots of interviews. I don't like it. This is my biggest fear of the trip. That the flow, the mojo. The only thing I could say to counter this elephant is road trips tend to bring teams closer together. The Phillies don't need to be brought closer together, but if you're going to bring a team any closer, go into London together as a team. Definitely will do that. So that's a positive. Ugh. Well, good. I'm glad you do. That's too early for hooliganisms. Is it? It's never too early. Never too early. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Isn't that what that thing says right there? It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Sunday is 1 p.m. Oh, okay. I really thought it was the other way. I thought Saturday was 1 and Sunday was 10 a.m. But whatever. I know the Sunday is on ESPN. I just worry. There is some risk with this Phillies team. There is some risk of them losing that mojo. How about JT Realmuto last night? And we'll get back to the Eagles and mini camp in a minute here. JT Realmuto looked like he was dying out there last night. Then he comes out and makes a great play to block a runner, to get a runner out at home plate, stays in the game. I know he struck out with a runner in scoring position after the injury. But, man, not only is he the best catcher in baseball, toughest catcher in baseball. I mean, the guy is a trooper. He's the ultimate. Was it John Kruk? Somebody compared JT Realmuto to Darren Dalton in the leadership realm of things. And I loved it. Loved it. When the Phils go to London, be sure to remind them that Philly is the city that kicked their arse in Rev. We beat them in 1776, and we're going to beat them again. Yeah, that's right. We're going to – I don't know what's worse. Americans still mentioning that to British people, or the Dallas Cowboys fans still mentioning the Eagles that they last won they won more Super Bowls, even though their last one was 30 years ago. I don't know what's worse, mister. I'm going to lean towards the Cowboys fans being worse, but, you know, Cowboys fans are probably the ones that use that analogy more than anything. I like how Chris Berman says Chargers. Is Chris Berman saying anything anymore? I wish we had a better backup catcher to give him a break. Stubby, yeah, we briefly touched on Garrett Stubbs at times in the last couple of weeks. Brings up the culture and the locker room in baseball and how important it is because he is great in that locker room. The team loves him. He keeps everybody loose and on their toes. Is he a good catcher? He calls an okay game. He's not JT good at throwing runners out. He's a little quick. He drops a drag bunt occasionally. It is what it is. we're not going to miss out on the playoffs or losing the World Series because of stuffs. Would I like JT to get more breaks? Probably. What? He's one of the greatest baseball players of all time. The Brits came back and burned down the White House in 1812, though. That's right. And we still whooped their butts in the War of 1812. What's up, Little G? How you doing this morning? Guys, you know what would be great? Not going to London, but going to Brazil. Did I shout it loud enough for you guys? Go check out phillysportstrips.com. They got an awesome trip August 30th to September 8th to see our Philadelphia Eagles take on the Green Bay Packers Week 1 NFL season in Brazil. So make sure you go check them out. Sign up at phillysportstrips.com. Let them know EOP, trending in the AM, is where you heard about them. If that's too much for you, they are one of the best self and premium travel, full travel, bus trips, flight trips to see any of your Philadelphia sports teams. If you don't want to see the Phillies, you don't want to go to Brazil, you don't got your passport, next week they got a bus trip up to Boston. They got a day trip down to Baltimore. They got a 4-day trip out to Chicago to see the Cubbies at Wrigley Field play our Phillies. Check them out, phillysportstrips.com. They've always been your best place to book your packages to see your teams play. You just didn't know. See, I'm throwing something extra in there. All right? An extra little shout out. Nice recovery, 10 out of 10. I try sometimes. I try. NFL is the best. That's why, like, NFL, I get the NFL, how big they are doing these international games. I don't know if I'm into baseball being at that level yet. Baseball's America's pastime. Not like football. Baseball is so uninteresting outside of America and I guess Korea and Japan. I guess in the Caribbean as well. It's not it got dropped from the Olympics. They tried to bring out the World Baseball Classic to bring more attention. It didn't. I don't know if baseball is the sport you're taking on the road everywhere. You want to do a baseball game? Take one down to Mexico or to the Dominican Republic. Find a way to get a baseball game down in Cuba. It probably wouldn't happen, but I'm just throwing that out there. They already do baseball games in South Korea or Japan to start the season. That's fine. I don't know if Europe is the place to take a baseball game. That's just my opinion. Phil's resilience this morning. I'm trying. I don't know what happened, but I'm trying. I never have a problem rising to every occasion, okay? I rise every occasion. Never had a problem with that. I don't fall short ever. Guy doesn't miss. No, never. That's why he is the great one. I am the great one. My team is the great team that I drafted last night. We're going to get into it. Philverse audio and chat flashes back to a bloody stone cold. Yeah. That is me. I'm going to pass out on this show. You know, I'm going to one day. Baseball is for a quieter time. Yeah. 2-day rest after Brewers, which includes travel time, and 1-day rest, including travel time. Yeah. Like, I could see them doing okay in London, but really coming out and struggling in the Red Sox series, Jose. For sure. Really could see that. Max Sharping signing what? Max Sharping signing? I don't even know what that is. Don't know what that is. But I can see them really struggling after that London trip. You got the Red Sox and then Baltimore. That's 2 super tough series. 2 great teams in the AL. Going to be road games. I could see them struggling for those games. I really can. I don't know. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the right moment to bring this up. Okay? I'm waiting. It's not time. The time is not there. What there is time for is you guys to hit that like button, that share button, that subscribe button. That's what the time is for. Okay? It does not cost you a thing to hit that share button, to hit subscribe or follow wherever you're watching. It doesn't cost you a thing to hit the share button or the like button. It doesn't. It's free. Just hit those buttons, guys. Wherever you're watching, keep those comments rolling in. Talking Eagles and training camp, talking Phillies, and shortly, football movies. Eagles guard, what? Oh, the guy, yeah, they just signed the guy. Sorry. We're talking so many different things here. Now, I will say, talking about Eagles offensive line. So Landon Dickerson was not there. It was an excused absence. It wasn't all holdout, obviously. He just signed his big deal. They didn't say why, but they did excuse him from camp. And I don't know if for all 3 days or just yesterday. But you had Becton and Steen both struggling on the offensive line yesterday. Now, the point that Nick Sirianni made is to to work on the details. Well, that's why we're having mandatory camp. We read from certain people struggling. But they're working through things. I don't like hearing that Landon Dickerson's not there. I want him to be working on the details and all the new coordinators. I did read, a lot of reports of working on the coordinators and all the new terminology and stuff. Very important. Red Sox are pretty bad. No pitching. I thought they were really good. Maybe I'm thinking of another team. Not the passing out on air. You never know. It could happen. I don't get enough coffee in. What kind of joke is this? They don't play in Philly. They play in South Philly. I don't know I didn't even know there was a microphone on the camera. The problem, mister, is that the camera is picking up sound, I guess. And I don't know how to unplug that. And the setting button on my screen says that I'm talking into this. So I don't know what's going on. I guess I could unplug this, but I don't like to mess with shit mid-show. You got to deal with the iffy audio today. You got to suck it up and let the comments keep rolling in. I will do my best. And after the show, tonight I'll come down here, try to figure it out, but not till tonight. I'll figure it out tonight. What's up, Mitchie Poe? Tobias Harris would have folded if he was in Phil's position. Dude, everybody would have folded years ago in my position, just so you know. Unplug the other mic. I can't unplug no other mic. I don't know how to do. I'm not messing with cords and buttons mid-show, guys. I checked 1 or 2 buttons. That's it. I got this microphone and my webcam that I use that gives me the widescreen thing supposedly must have a mic, and I think that's what's being picked up, which is causing the distant sound. If that got off, I don't even know how that got turned on because that's not been a problem. I haven't touched a damn thing down here, so I don't know what happened. Mitch likes, Mitchie Pooh's favorite basketball player is Tobias Harris. Nolan Smith is too small. No, he's not. He's put on a lot of muscle. Hard times make hard streamers. Yeah. You got to tough it through these things. That's how you become better. You work through the troubles to get better. Why won't you stand up? You and your boxers? Why do you want me to stand up? Like, where does this even come from? Why do you want me to stand up? If I stood up right now, all you would see is below my waist, and you don't need that. It sounds fine. Spoiled. Exactly, Freddie. They're all a bunch of spoiled brats, They want perfection from me. I want to give them perfection. They can't. But you know what I can give you perfection in? I can give you perfection in my football team. So last night I was on Birds of a Roundtable, Deebs, David, Ryan Reese, and we drafted our all-time movie and TV show football team. We did an NFL-style fantasy football snake draft, all right? And I did give you perfection in my football team. But we're not going to show it to you just yet. I thought about it, but you guys, I didn't want all right, you know what? I'll give it to you. Here was the teams drafted last night. All right, this is not the order that they were drafted in. This is just our team. Okay? Obviously, I'm third on this list, the green-colored team. I had the third pick, and then snake draft, and then I had the sixth pick, third and sixth pick. All right? Now, my team is very heavy in what I feel is the greatest football movie of all time, The Replacements. Obviously, Coach Jimmy McGinty had to be on my team. Clifford Franklin. Clifford! Twinkie! Papali. I'm the only person. My team is the best simply because my team is the only team with an actual football player on it. Obviously, lots of replacement players. Now, B.A. Baracus, for those that don't know, the sergeant of the A-team, played by Mr. T. In one episode, they went undercover as a professional football team in East Germany to get a scientist out of the country. So B.A. Baracus was a running back. So that was there. And Flash Gordon, of course. Now, I missed out on Falco. I missed out on Johnny Utah. They were guys I wanted. Okay. So I didn't get them. But Flash Gordon, not only did he play for the New York Jets, but he saved not just the world, the entire universe. So how can you not pick a guy that's going to save the world and win you a football game to be your starting quarterback? And his theme song is amazing. And my quarterback choices, I was down to him or AC Slater from Bayside. And that was my secondary option there. But, I think I got a pretty damn good team. And if you guys remember who Turley is from The Longest Yard, he's like Jordan Davis, 10 times his size. Phil is hosting commando style. No, I am not. Not a chance. Today's special guest should be Computer Network, CNT, the Computer Network Technician. Yeah, did he go to one of those schools that you get your degree in 6 months? Did the recent Eagles press conference with the new position coaches make you feel better compared to last season? I am positive with all the changes, Jose, at coordinator. I'm very, very positive. I like the fact that they're working on details. Here's something, Jose. Doug, and I don't know if I'm saying his name right, Nussmeier, the new quarterback coach, Doug Nussmeier, I think is how you pronounce it. New quarterback coach, talked about the importance of getting the ball out fast. 2.3 seconds. That is how quickly you've got to get the ball out. And when special teams drills were going on, what were they doing? He had the 4 quarterbacks, Hurts, Pickett, who did not have a good day yesterday, Will Greer, and Tanner McKee, working on the side field on quick, rapid-firing passes and hitting a target. Okay? And he was working on it in a way where not only did you have to get rid of the ball fast, you only had 1 second before you got that ball out to get the next ball and throw it again. So that little details like that are being worked on that are different from not just last year, the last few years. So little details like that make me very happy. Every pick is not every pick, but a lot of picks. I would have just picked the whole team if I could. Al Bundy had 4 touchdowns in 1 game. But Al Bundy would probably get suspended pretty quickly because he's probably a gambler. He's probably a drunk still. He'd probably punch a referee. So he would be out too quickly. My quarterback would be Willie Beeman. I don't know if his knee, Stephen Willie Beeman had a knee issue. I don't know if his knee would hold up long term. Same thing with Johnny Utah. No, Beeman was the shoulder. Johnny Utah was the knee. You can't get an injured quarterback, injury-prone quarterback. Nandaska, great O-line pick. My quarterback, I just didn't start that one. Phil did not do show prep on this one. On what? My football team? I did a lot of prep on my football team. I did. Al Bundy, yeah. Was Cheers good? Cheers wasn't a football show. Just, it was I think he was a baseball player, right? Yeah. So, guys, looking at these teams, who drafted the best team? There's going to be votes. It's going to be round 1, me versus David. Round 1 will be Deems versus Ryan. I think that was a scam by Deems and Ryan because I think myself and David have the best teams, and they're forcing us to go head-to-head in the first round. But bold football tape. Let me tell you something. This is bold. This might get me canceled. Any Given Sunday is the most overrated football movie ever. Ever. Any Given Sunday is overrated massively. Has a great theory, has great ideas, has a great cast, but has terrible acting, terrible writing, and way too much unnecessary scenes. The execution of Any Given Sunday fell outside of the speech in the locker room from Al Pacino's character, the coach, Tony D'Amato. Outside of that one locker room speech, the movie felt completely flat. You had Cameron Diaz. She looked great, but her character was stupid. You had so much stupidity in the movie. You had a great theory of trainers trying to make players fight through injuries and giving them drugs to get them through. But even that execution was bad. They had this great locker room dynamic, but they failed in amplifying it. But they spent 3 minutes of the movie in a naked shower scene. Like, the execution of the theories, awful. Well, I think I just answered that question for you. If you really want to get the ball out fast, put 5 broom handles 5 feet in front of her. Yeah. Yeah, some of those drills that Nick Sirianni runs, they're a little off. Isn't Icebox a child? Yeah. Still a football movie. Pig Deebs is not the best. No, do not give Deebs. Deebs did luck out, with some certain moves there, getting Al Bundy, getting Shane Falco. I mean, he lucked out there. He did. Getting Bobby Boucher. Bobby Boucher was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Mainly because there weren't a lot of great linebackers to choose from. Linebackers in secondary were a little tough. That's why my first 2 picks were Bateman and Wilkinson from the replacements, because there's just not a lot of good options in that position. You guys should have drafted Pablo Sanchez from Backyard Football. I don't even know who that is. Petey Jones will get picked on bad. Problem with Petey Jones is that Deebs didn't even know who he was. Deebs typed in Petey Williams and said, I got Petey Williams from a member of the Titans, not Petey Jones. And I had to remind him that Petey Williams is the inventor of the Canadian destroyer, Mini Papa Pump, former X-Division champion. So Petey Jones is such – when you pick somebody for your team that you draft and you don't even know their name, I think that's a violation in and of itself. Right there. Well, strong movie take there. Great one. Dude, Any Given Sunday, I've watched it. I've watched it straight through multiple times. I've tried to like that movie. You've got a great cast. Pacino, Eckert. You got Cameron Diaz. You got Jamie Foxx. I mean, the list goes on and on. Jim Brown's in it. Lawrence Taylor's in it. LL Cool J? I think LL Cool J's in it. I mean, the cast is phenomenal. Top notch. You got Oscar-nominated actors in this movie. It just fell flat. It just stunk. The theories were there. When the producers were coming up with the theories, it was there. The writing was awful. The script was terrible. The acting from great actors was awful. They need a Tom Brady, Bill Belichick movie. They could call it Deflategate, right? Or Deflate This. Hot Hands ain't it. He has to go up against grown men. Yeah, I mean, I tried to break down each team based off of things like that, trying to tell people that, you can't have kids on your team. You can't not know the name of the team. Rudy sounds like a good pick, but Rudy would get demolished. I mean, one of the teams, somebody picked somebody from a football commercial. Who was the guy who drove after the victory and got in a car crash? That was Adam Sandler's character, Terry Crews, in The Longest Yard. I did have their defensive lineman because what do you need when you're on the defensive line? You need to be able to stuff the middle, stuff the run. And why not go draft an 8-foot, 400-pound man in Turley to be your defensive lineman, to clog up the middle? That's what I went with. Just so you know. You want a massive overrated movie? I give you I don't disagree with this. Forrest Gump to me is only entertaining for nostalgic sake. Seeing all the period timepieces and stuff. I love period timepieces. I love him going through history and doing different things. But I think it's an overrated movie. I understand its cultural significance, K1, but I get it. I get your opinion on that. I don't think you're way, way off base with this. And I love The Replacements because I understand that The Replacements is what it is. It's a cheesy, cheeky movie. I don't think it's Oscar not. But when you have a movie like Any Given Sunday, and you got Pacino, you got Diaz, you got Jamie Foxx, when you got that cast, it's got to be better. And it wasn't. I blame the writers on it. Absolutely. We're agreeing on this one. 1,000%. Gump Shore's pass. And you know what was great about the Forrest Gump was picked as David, his flex position. And he said the reason was because with the new NFL kick return rules, he is going to excel and run back a lot of kickoffs. I was like, yeah, man, that's a great, that's a well thought out reasoning behind a draft pick. Well-reasoned draft pick of Forrest Gump because of the kick return rule changes. So that was, some people don't even know the names of the people they're picking. David, on the other hand, was actually giving out some really legit reasoning behind it. Running back, kick return, or whatever you want to put him at. Jenny, I miss Jenny. The crash was during a James Taylor song. I didn't even know that. Nobody drafted Maggot from the longest yard, or Maggot, or whatever his name was. He was on my running back list. I almost selected him, but I wanted to show off how much of a dork I am by taking B.A. Baracus because, yes, the A-Team, the episode called Quarterback Sneak, Season 5, Episode 4, they infiltrated East Germany under the guise of a football team playing an exhibition game against the East German football team. Joe Namath played the quarterback on the A-Team's team, T.J. Bryant. He basically was Terry Crews, a gambler that was willing to throw the game for the East Germans. All right. There's a lot of interesting things with the B.A. Baracus thing, and I love the A-Team. So I had to get one member of the A-Team in every list. I could do a top 10 list of the greatest A-Team episodes and probably come up with 30 episodes that I want to put on that list. It was depressing, but it was a technical breakthrough. I respect what it is. I think it's overrated. Oh, I brought this up after the draft was over on the show. He played fullback, offensive line, running back, quarterback. He played for the Patriots. They got traded to the Silly Nannies over in London. So, he played for multiple positions, multiple teams in his career. And I thought about Peter Griffin as well. There were a bunch of names. Jeffrey Jackson, one half of Firestorm. He was a running back. Thought about him. Bill Romanowski played a linebacker for the Guards in the longest yard. Thought about him. Nobody took it. We kind of, for some reason, the blindside guy, Michael O'Hara, we weren't allowed to pick, but I was allowed to pick Vince Papali. So I don't know where these rules came from. Yeah, there was a Kurt Warner movie, wasn't there? I don't know. Anyway, guys, let me take this off the screen for a second. I'm going to put this back up for you guys in a second. But see, what I got to do is I got to put this picture up on the screen. And that's my main man, David R. Cherry. Cherry Law Firm. If you get hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident or personal injury or affected by criminal law, call David R. Cherry of the Cherry Law Firm. He is here to fight for you and get you what you deserve. He's a dedicated, well-established personal injury law firm built on the promise of aiding the seriously injured throughout the state of Pennsylvania. Give him a call, 610-565-0300, or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let him know you heard about him right here, trending in the AM on Edge of Philly Sports. Let him know that. Again, his number is 610-565-0300, or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Yes, here come the cherry bombs. Cherry bombs, all in the comment. Bo Jackson was in Family Guy. O.J. Simpson was. I actually wanted to take O.J. Simpson because of the Family Guy as well. Plus, they did a TV. They did a TV show on O.J. Simpson and his trial on FX. I forget what it's called. Not American Criminal, but they do a season every year on a criminal and the trial and stuff like that. So I thought about O.J. Simpson as my running back. I really did. And that Family Guy episode with O.J. Simpson is hilarious. But I just don't know. I don't know. Interesting. But I don't know. I didn't want to go there. Didn't want to go there. There's our guys. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. See, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best with what's in front of me. I'm thinking of Remember the Titans. I honestly could say this, and this might make me the biggest fugazi in the world. I've never seen Remember the Titans. Never have. O.J. Simpson was fantastic in the Naked Gun movies. Fantastic. Played that role perfectly. The Naked Gun movies are fantastic movies, guys. Fantastic football movie, or not football movies, comedy movies. And the fact that they're rebooting it drives me nuts because I don't need to see the Naked Gun movies redone. And I think Liam Neeson is going to do a fantastic job with dry humor. With Frank Drebin, he's going to do great as it. But I don't need new Naked Gun movies. Could have gone SpongeBob because of the Bubble Bowl. Mitchie Poo, I'm 43 years old. I have never watched 1 minute of SpongeBob. Ever. Just so you know. Oh my God, stop the show and go watch Remember the Titans. I don't know why I've never seen Remember the Titans. I've never watched any of the Friday Night Lights TV show. I've seen the movie, but not the TV show. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. I know I'm going to. I don't know how I've never seen it. Honestly, I can't even tell you that I've ever seen it, like, on TV. Like, it's not like it's in, like, some kind of, like, Shawshank Redemption's on 47 times a week on 13 different networks. I don't think Remember the Titans is ever on TV. So it's not even like I could pick it up and just watch bits and pieces of it. I have never watched it. I don't know why. Someday I will. Maybe the next time I fly, I'll download it on my phone and I'll watch it on the flight. I've just never seen it. It's a must to achieve graduation from 2000. Well, I graduated before that. There's nothing better than Shawshank. It's the greatest movie ever made. Just so you know. OJ was funny. He was absolutely funny in him. Good slapstick humor. Good dumb humor. Liam Neeson as Frank Drebin. I mean, it was a match made in heaven. People forget Leslie Nielsen. Liam Neeson is going to be playing the character next. Leslie Nielsen was a serious actor before he became a comedic actor. His role in Airplane, Don't Call Me Shirley, that was the first time he ever did any comedy. He was a serious actor that turned into a comedic actor because of one line and one part in one movie. That turned him into a comedic actor. And he was great at it. I mean, he did so many stupid ones. There was one where he was like Dracula. I mean, fantastic. What's the movie with the guy that's the dragonfly superhero or the whatever? He delivers that dry humor perfectly. He does. Yeah, Liam Neeson. You're replacing Leslie Nielsen in a movie franchise with Liam Neeson. Talk about a tongue tie right there. Like, what? Why would they do that to me? Don't they know how I am with names? Denzel is the greatest movie football coach in history. Did somebody take, I forget, let me put the drafted teams up here. Yes, Deeves took the Remember the Titans, Denzel's character, for sure there. Jimmy McGinty is a little bit better because he got more out of anybody. He took a bunch of replacement level players and beat a professional team to make it to the playoffs. He went with the backup quarterback versus the guy that crossed the picket lines. Just saying. So there's that. Jalen threw another pick. Jalen threw a pick. Correct. Jalen had a solid day of practice yesterday. Everybody was hyping up Kenny Pickett when Kenny Pickett had a good practice. Kenny Pickett has a bad practice. No one's talking trash on him. Jalen was 12 of 16, 0 touchdowns, 1 pick. The pick was not on him. It was a ball that should have been caught, and it was broken up. Great play by Zach Lloyd Braun, who seems to be the starting. That's something there Eagles-wise we could talk about. Show's coming to the final 20. We'll touch on it. Maybe we'll bring it up again tomorrow. Braun is the starting linebacker right now. Not Trotter Jr., not Nakobe Dean, Braun. So he batted at ball, and it got picked off by Devin White. Should have been a catch, though. Are we interested at all in the fact that Nakobe Dean, who's back on the field practicing, just not with the ones, Jeremiah Trotter's with the 3s, that Braun, who's brought in here to be like kind of that outside edge rushing linebacker, dropping the coverage, is playing in the middle of the field next to Devin White. It's interesting. It's interesting the way they're doing that. And, in the voluntary camps, Nakobe Dean wasn't ready to play. So Braun stepped in. Braun impressed, and now he's like the lead guy in the clubhouse at this point. Leslie Nielsen, I didn't take that. I see what you're doing there, K1. I see what you're doing. You're criticizing me. You can't imagine it. Well, he was a serious actor. Very serious actor early in his career. Then he was in Airplane. That changed everything. I'm glad nobody drafted Bo Callahan. Yeah. Which time? Yeah. Voting just started. Voting's up. Okay. Your poll between you and David will be at noon. So at noon, follow me on Twitter, at Bearded Knowledge. Follow EOP Sports on Twitter. Follow Deebs on Twitter. Follow us all on Twitter. Because we're going to be sharing this out and commenting on it all day. And I better beat David. David's got a great team. Let's break down round one, me versus David. Okay? Tony DiMotti, Any Given Sunday coach for Jimmy McGinty. D'Amato, I mean, he left as soon as winning. And he stole the quarterback in free agency. Flash Gordon versus Willie Beeman. Willie Beeman's shoulder can't hold up. Flash Gordon saves the universe. B.A. Baracus versus Icebox. Well, Icebox is a child. Clifford Franklin, Rod Tidwell. He might have a slight edge there. Jerry Maguire. Vince Papali. It don't matter who your wide receiver is. I got an NFL wide receiver on my roster. So obviously that wins there. Nigel Gruff, the leg. The best kicker in all of football movies versus Forrest Gump, the best kick returner in all of football. We'll call that a tie. Jumbo Fumiko, a sumo wrestler. What is run blocking? Pushing people around. What are sumos great at? Pushing people around. I got it. Billy Bob, that might be a push there, actually. He's got a really good one there. Turley versus Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds. I think I go Turley a little bit there. Bateman versus Vontae Mack. I'm going to leave me just for me's sake. And Friday Night Lights I've never watched, so Earl Wilkinson. I think I just edge out David on the quality of team. The problem is they are the two best teams. And you got the two best teams going up against each other in round one. My team would bring you down 80-10, 80-20 in voting. My team would beat Ryan's team 90-10. But me and David, it's going to be 50-50. They'll be like Monk with names. I try. Kenny Pickett. Yeah, I mean, Kenny Pickett stinks. Nick Sari. I've never heard of Nick Sirianni. Looked in Moore's playbook at the receiver routes and asked, where are the scribbly lines? No, he looked and said, oh, what's that, a curl route? We've never run a curl route before. And supposedly that's all we're going to run. Deebs finally get this done. Deebs is not winning. If Deebs wins, I think it's a joke. I think it's a setup. It's a setup. This whole thing is a setup. Yeah, Vince Papali can't run curl routes. That's right. Saquon Barkley only has 4 fumbles in his 6-year career. Jalen has more fumbles in the first half of game 1. He didn't turn the ball over in 2022. Are we really going to go back to the Jalen Hurts turnover thing? I mean, we can. Is Buffalo Wild Wings boneless like pearls? What? David, because he doesn't have a ban on me. Oh. So Mitchie Poo is only going to vote for David because I refuse to let Mitchie Poo on this show. Okay, a piece, if checked, just layered with what? Sometimes you speak in riddles. Get those riddles out of here. Guys, you're watching Trend in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. I missed the reset. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Let's go. Get those things done. And also, if you need to have a good time today, go check out my friends at Dolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park. For over 65 years, they have been the quintessential Irish-American dive bar in Delco. Just south of the Philly airport, they have great food, great drinks, great music all the time, memorabilia giveaway, great times always to be had there. You might even see a Philly sports icon walk through the door. So go check them out, Dolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park, dolansbar.com. You can find them on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Guys, check out my man. That's my hometown, Ridley. I missed Liam Neeson joke. K1. Let's see. Is this your? That doesn't have anything to do with Liam Neeson. I saw when you call. I saw the one. I saw this and I laughed at it. I said, I see what you're trying to do to me there. You said Leslie Nielsen is taken because I said Liam Neeson was a Naked Gun. I get it. It just wasn't that funny. It wasn't that funny of a joke. It was like a 6 out of 10 ad read for me. It was like a 6 out of 10 joke from you. Okay? You want Mitchie Poo on. No. I'm going to wait. We'll lift his ban shortly. the one after that. Hold on. So there's one after the Liam Neeson joke. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm lost on your joke. I am. What else do we got here from yesterday's day at camp? Keely Ringo, start opposite of Darius Slay. Not Quinyon Mitchell. Not, obviously, James Bradberry. Not Cooper DeJean. Isaiah Rodgers had a great practice, but did not start with the ones. Is there a scenario where Keely Ringo is a starting cornerback on this team? I find it hard to imagine. I find it hard to imagine that Quinyon Mitchell or Isaiah Rodgers aren't starting on the outside. I just love all that I'm reading because all the voluntary camps, Quinyon Mitchell was on the outside. Yesterday, Quinyon Mitchell was working in the slot. The Eagles' defense and Vic Fangio, he prides his defense on flexibility. And you are seeing every single player on this team play multiple positions in practice. So there's seamless transitions when people have to move around on defense, where everybody can play everywhere. And Jose, somebody asked or commented earlier thoughts on some things and about the coaches and the coordinators. And I love the details that everybody is working on learning every position. Damn, a besmirched K1 joke. I don't even know what I missed. Now Phil missed me, Nick. Joke. Well, I'm not missing jokes. You guys just don't have funny jokes today. Where's Eric's joke? I saw your joke and I commented. I made a curl route follow-up joke on it. I think I'm doing a good job. I think I got your jokes. It is a conspiracy. I'm against all you guys. You guys are all against me. That's what it is. You're all against me. And I don't know why. I'm so good to you people. Why are you guys so against me? I sit here every single morning, 90 minutes a day. You guys are asking for 2 hours from me soon. And you're all against me. It's Phil versus the world. I mean, Phil versus the core 12. I don't know what to do with you guys. You guys drive me nuts. You guys drive me up a wall. I think one of you guys came down here and screwed up all my mic settings. And that's why we got the mic setting issue. One of you guys must have snuck into my house. It is Coatesville, Eric. You can break into houses in Coatesville all the time, right? Phil heel turn on the core 12. I don't know if I'd say it's Bret Hart style. What's the best heel turn? It's more like Hulk Hogan joining the NWO. Me, if I go against you guys, because I'm the great one. I am the OG. I'm the best of the best of the best with honor, sir. So Bret Hart isn't the best of the best of the best. Bret Hart is excessively overrated wrestler, right up there with Any Given Sunday being an overrated football movie. I'm more like when Hulk Hogan decides to turn his back on the Hulkamaniacs. I'm turning my back on the core 12, and I'm turning into Hollywood Hogan. I'm turning into a Hollywood Beard, Hollywood Phil. In fact, tomorrow, it might say Hollywood Phil on the screen. And I'm writing this down right now. Hollywood Phil. Hell, I've even been on TV. But that's what's going to happen here in the coming days. I'm going to go full heel mode on you guys. I'm going to make you guys talk about the Union and the WNBA and Flyers hockey. We're not going to talk football. We're not going to talk baseball or bet. We're going to talk what I want. Now the whole tagline where your opinions matter, gone. Your opinions don't matter to me. Shots at Coatesville. Look, I live in Coatesville now, Eric. What am I going to do? I live in the nicer part of the East Fallowfield area of it. But, I see cop cars driving up and down my street. A lot. Just so you know. A lot of cop cars going up and down the road here. It is what it is. Don't forget Golf Talk. Yes, there's Golf Talk. Had a great episode of Fairway to Heaven last night, talking the Memorial at Jack's place. Jason and I last night. It was actually a really good episode. It might slide under the radar a little bit, but it was a great conversation yesterday. The final boss says, your opinion stuck. All right? We've gone far too off the rails today. We have. Far too off the rails. We barely talked Eagles. We barely talked Phillies. I wanted to even bring up other things NFL related. The wide receiver situation across the NFL. Obviously, Justin Jefferson getting a huge deal. And people, you know what? We can go heel mode for the final 10 minutes on Joe Banner. Former Eagles GM and president, Joe Banner. Former gold standard guy, Joe Banner. Guy that has turned his back on Eagles and the Eagles nation. Constantly criticizing the Eagles. He can't get a job in the NFL anymore, so he might as well tweet out stupid things. And talking about how Devontae Smith should fire his agent and stirring up the trouble around the money given to wide receivers and why our wide receivers didn't hold out longer for more money. Did he want Devontae Smith to hold out or something like that? Devontae Smith was never going to get Justin Jefferson money. Now you got Eagles beat reporters having asked Devontae Smith these questions. Devontae Smith is perfectly content with his contract. Joe Banner goes out there and says, well, he should have waited. Even if he got $3 more million, he could have donated to his church. Really? Are people really talking like this? Howie Roseman has gifted us 2 wide receivers for the price of some of these elite wide receivers are going to sign for 1 contract. CeeDee Lamb isn't going to show up to anything mandatory until he gets his extension. The Cowboys are going to fall to pieces because of the money that they're not paying to people. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, still can't get paid. Yet there's people out there criticizing the Eagles for the money they gave to their wide receivers. In a good way and a bad way. Drives me nuts. Joe Banner is turning into one of those super miserable, grumpy, anti-Philly people because he doesn't get his flowers in Philly. Well, he didn't win a Super Bowl. Was he still here when we went to the Super Bowl in 2004? I think he was still here in 2004. I don't know if he had transitioned away yet. That's right. Train the AM where your opinions stink. That's what's going to happen now. Holding out with your takes on what? Because your opinions don't matter anymore? Or on Joe Banner? Like I'm going off on a side tangent here on Joe Banner. And I was stupid. Like I criticize the media all the time. Well, I might as well criticize Joe Banner for being a curmudgeon. Who's more miserable right now that they're not in the sport that they made their name for? Joe Banner or Sam Hinkie? Joe Banner just stunk. Sam Hinkie is blackballed and should be more miserable than he is, and he's not. Joe Banner just can't get a job now. So what's he going to do? He's going to make a job out of criticizing the Eagles. I think he's on ESPN or NFL Network occasionally giving his opinions. He was on my list. He was on my list. I drafted the great colleague, Turley, just so you know. Because 8-foot, 400-pound man is what you want as your defensive tackle, your nose tackle, clogging up the middle with Turley. So, yes, I did draft the great colleague from the longest yard. The Rock. The Rock, could have drafted The Rock, chose not to. Guys, I think it's time to start the wrap-up process here today. This show's gone too far off the rails. I got to figure out the audio issues. You guys have held in there today. You've held in there for me today. But there's more shows today on this channel, so make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. We'll continue Eagles talk. We'll try to stay focused on the Eagles talk tomorrow because we didn't talk about the quarterbacks and the offense and the getting the ball out quick, what that means. We didn't talk about the wide receivers much at all. Smith looking good. We'll have more reports from today's camp to go over. Hopefully we see if Bradberry is back in practice or not. But we will have all that. We'll see if Landon Dickerson shows up today or not. What are these notes? Oh, that's just different notes. Ringo starting. And that's something that we got to see. We got to see that, Travis. It impressed me. See, the thing is, I don't think he will start. I think Quinyon Mitchell or Isaiah Rodgers will start. But the fact that they're giving Ringo work with the ones on the outside so that they can give Quinyon Mitchell some practice in the slot, they're mixing things up so much. And this is when to do it. You work on the details. You work on everybody getting a little bit better everywhere. And I love it. He's starting yesterday. Hey, he might start today. I doubt he starts week 1. But I love to see them moving people around. It's also, having Ringo working with Slay. And then maybe Quinyon Mitchell works with Slay. So whoever's out there, that him and Slay are on the same page. You get everybody working together so that when lineups change because of injuries or whatnot, that everybody's got experience of working together. No justice, no takes. Eric and I have called David Archeri to rep. Yeah, go for it. Bring it on. I will hire Mike Ross, okay? We will bring David Archeri down to his knees in tears. I'm not raging. I'm okay. I care less. Cherry will get us the justice we would deserve. No. Core 12 woke up on the run. The Core 12, mister, they're pushing it. They might be in timeout. I might have to bring on like a soccer guest and make you guys listen to somebody talk soccer for 30 minutes tomorrow. I may have to do that. I really may. Just to shut us all up. Yeah, exactly. Guys, with that being said, I'll wrap this up. This is Trending in the AM on Edge of Philly Sports. Like, subscribe, follow, share. It's free to do it. You don't got to pay to share this show out. You don't got to pay to like this show. You don't got to pay anything to tell a friend to join the Core 12. It's free to do. So please do it. Shout out to our sponsors, Dolan's Bar, Cherry Law Firm, SherryTickets.com, and PhillySportsTrips.com. Dude, not funny. What? I'm always fun. This act of aggression will not stand. Oh, it'll stand. If the glove don't fit, you gotta quit. I mean, it's pretty simple. Really simple. A minus $500. It's a good thing these things don't count for real. Because I'd be crying if you deducted $500 from my checking account today. It would be very upsetting. With that being said, guys, it's really easy around here. Soccer threats. All right, it is. I'm sorry. I promise there will be no soccer talk tomorrow. I promise. With that all being said, guys, we got to hit the wrap-up button because I got to get to work, set up. I got to take care of my nephew for the day. Uncle P and Connor hanging out all day today. He'll be running me ragged, playing basketball, baseball, and everything else. What about Adam Sam? Guys, we got to wrap it up, guys. Trending the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We'll be back tomorrow. Go Birds. Ring the bell. And as always, guys, bubbles up.